Welcome to Hybrid Diaries, episode 8. I'm super excited to introduce you to the founder of DecaFit, Yancy Culp. Welcome to the show, Yancy.
Thank you for having me on, my friend. And I appreciate it. I enjoyed our little intro talk when we weren't recording. We kicked a lot of cool stuff around there. We'll have to make sure we mesh some of that stuff into the call today.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yancy's just told me that it's now 7 a.m. and he's already been doing airport runs for his kids and his family, and he's there
Yeah.
ready to go, drinking his coffee. He's got a super busy week ahead of him. Yancy, tell us then, so what's your background? I know that from what I know, seeing things on Instagram, you are from obviously Spartan and you used to do like OCR, like Spartan races yourself, right? I can see behind you, you've got a death race vest there. Tell us a bit about you.
Been involved in fitness my entire life. The research shows that 80% of the people walking the planet are not on a good fitness journey. They're not testing their fitness. They didn't play sports growing up. I was in that 10-20% where very blessed to have a mom and dad that got me engaged in what I call the greatest internship on planet Earth as a young man or woman, team sports. Always very competitive, probably since from sixth grade to today. I've never not had something on the calendar, some event coming up, some race. Um, so yeah, I got when I 39 years old. That was 12 years ago. 51 now. When I walked up to my first OCR start line, and it was like, wow, this is a really cool. I love this new sport, and had a blast with it, as did 15-20 million other people did as well. And I think we saw a lot of people from previous sporting backgrounds have this newfound love for getting out on the side of the mountain in the mud and the barbed wire, and testing their fitness. So yeah, I've been involved in sport my whole life. Love testing my fitness, love competing, love the butterfly feelings that you get when you step up to a start line. Man, there's nothing like it. And I've had a career in fitness for 25 plus years as a coach. I've owned my own fitness businesses, and as a coach and as a fitness business owner, I say this all the time. We are in the business of dealing the world's most powerful drug: fitness, movement, and exercise. If you're in the world of fitness, you've seen it change and save lives. It does change and save lives every single day. It's an amazing career, and everything I get to do. No matter, I got 4 or 5 different gigs out there, and things that I love to do, but every one of them has to do with ties into health and wellness and fitness and serving people and trying to help them take care of their beautiful machine, I like to call it.
Nice. Man, I love that. That was a wicked intro. Probably the best intro we've had so far.
Good stuff, man.
And you're definitely the most experienced out there that I've spoken to so far. Um, Mate, then talk to me about Deca. So you are founder, co-founder of Deca, and tell us about it. Like, what is it? So I know that it's relatively new in the Middle East. So tell our
Yeah,
listeners,
yeah.
what is Deca?
Quick backstory. I know when in the intro you called it Deca Fit. Very common. People, I don't want to call it a mistake. Deca Fit is actually our 5K race. We have Deca Strong, Deca Mile, Deca Fit. The old Spartan logo with Deca, that's our official name. So we call ourselves Deca. But yeah, quick backstory. So you mentioned the death race. I met Joe DeSena, owner, founder, CEO of Spartan, about 35 hours into my 72-hour death race 10 years ago. And we find ourselves talking business on the side of his mountain on his farm in Pittsville, Vermont. And we've been friends and been collaborating on various businesses and working together Joe's allowed me to work with him for many years. Great guy. Probably nobody on planet Earth loves preaching the benefits of taking care of your beautiful machine more than Joe. He's insanely passionate about it in all the best ways. So we're talking business, and then fast forward to 2019, 6 years later. We'd worked on many projects together, and I'm in his kitchen, December 2019 in Pittsville, Vermont. I think I was in town. We were shooting a bunch of podcasts in Pittsfield, and I'm like, Joe, we've pulled 10 million people off the couch with the mud and the barbed wire on the sides of mountains and all the obstacles. But as an old fitness coach for many years, I would argue that 80-90% of the people walking the planet, we're never going to get them to the mud and the barbed wire and the obstacles. Let's build a Spartan start line for the masses. And we'll put 100% of the focus on the 80% that aren't on a good fitness journey. They're overweight, they're unfit, they're not testing their fitness. They've never had a gym membership, never played team sports or any kind of sport. I said, we'll put all the focus on them and give them their sport and create a nationally recognized and hopefully globally recognized sport for the masses. And if we do it right, even the 10, 20%ers will enjoy it. The Ryan Kents, the Lauren Weeks and whatnot. And they have, we have our second world championship coming up. Big success last year with the first one, but we will never deviate from providing a start line for all levels of fitness with big focus on the 80%. We'll never deviate from that. Long story short, Joe said, I freaking love it. Let's do it. And we literally dove in at his kitchen. I remember like it was yesterday. We're talking about, well, what the hell we're going to call this. We started kicking ideas around, and we landed on DECA, which means 10 in Greek. You heard of the decathlon, DECA. Well, DEKA is another way the Greeks spelled it. It was just as common as DECA, DECA. So we get in his van the next day. We're driving from Pittsfield to Boston, and we're thinking, well, Joe's like, who the hell is going to help us manage this? And I'm like, exactly. There's no way I can, be everything DECA. We need a smart individual to help us. And I said, I know a guy, my good friend Jared Cogswell. We'd worked together coaching for the U.S. Army. Together, we probably had 50, 60 years of fitness experience. I called Jared while we're in the van on the ride, and the next day, Jared's on a flight to Boston, and we sat in Joe's office for about 3 days, really planning and scheming. And short time later, we rented an old abandoned Kmart in downtown Denver, Colorado, and for the next 3 freaking months, January, February, and much of March, R&D, planning and scheming. I had a dry erase board mock-up, a lot of bar napkin mock-ups on what I thought the 10 zones would be. And, when you think about creating a sport for the masses, what happens is, if you look at all the common participatory sports out there that people hear about, the 80%ers that aren't testing their fitness, this is what they hear and see about all the time. Let's run down through a list. Marathon, half marathon, triathlon, Spartans, Tough Mudders, CrossFit Open. They see 10 million people doing the Murph. Well, look what I just listed. For the average person, that scares the shit out of them. Not you and I. We would probably have done or love doing all of it. But for the masses, it's like we've got to create something that meets them where they're at right now. What's the start line for somebody 100 pounds overweight and unfit that they're going to be a little nervous, but where 99.9% of that crowd would find the finish line? That's a fine balance. So that's what we were trying to develop in Denver in the old abandoned Kmart. We had thousands of people come in. We tested them. We thought we have our 10 zones figured out. It was like, wait a second, let's change this one to be this, and let's change the weight implement, and the amount of weight, the rep count. What's the order of the 10 zones that make a lot of sense when you sit down with a bunch of exercise physiologists and coaches and rock star strength conditioning coaches. We just didn't want to throw it on the paper. We wanted it to make sense. So long story short, Jared and I did what we call murder the freaking plan. We had probably 20 CrossFit Games athletes come in. We had high-level OCR athletes, functional fitness athletes from many different sports, but the big focus on bringing people in that weren't super fit at all, weren't really fit at all. And when we got it to where they were all finishing, we knew we were close. And then and when we launched our first event, March 21st, Denver Broncos indoor training facility, and COVID, short time after, ripped the rug right out from under us. Literally about a week before that event, COVID's freaking shut the world down. Luckily, we work for an amazing owner, founder, CEO, Spartan Joe DeSena, and he's like, listen, full steam ahead. I like what you're doing. We're going to let you keep doing it. I didn't have millions of dollars of capital to support it myself, of course. Joe had supported it from day one. And we made an aggressive pivot. We're like, okay, we knew all along that we wanted to have an affiliate program, but we fast-tracked it. We went down to Florida. They were on a little different COVID path down there. Gyms were open. Florida was open. When the rest of the world was shut down, Florida said a little bit of a F you, we're going to stay open. And, props to them. And we started doing road shows up and down Florida throughout 2020. Got our first affiliate in Mud, Sweat, and Tears, very, very first affiliate in Verona, New Jersey. Francis Generelli, an old death race buddy of mine. And it's funny, you look back on it now, it's like, wow, that was our first affiliate. Like, what was I saying when I was calling gyms and I didn't have any affiliates? We didn't have any affiliates. Like, what the hell were we saying? Like, now when I call in a possible affiliate, I'm like, listen, we've got 250 gyms, clubs, studios, and boxes across the country, in Canada and the UK and the UAE, and they've held 1,000 events. And we've created a nationally recognized sport, eventually a globally recognized sport. But you think back past 3.5 years, man, it's been a freaking journey. And we have a little team of 7 that have worked their freaking asses off. And I should name every one of them. They're a bunch of rock stars, dude.
Name them.
Brian,
Let's hear
Nelson Diaz, Cynthia, Arlene, Robin, Preston, Brian, myself. It's an amazing team of 7 people that just, it was Jared and I, and we slowly built it up. And now when I tell people what we've accomplished, like, wait, you're only a team of 7? And of course we have to lean in on Spartan for a few things, finance for a few things here and there, and merch and stuff. But we're a small but mighty team. We love what we have created. And that's the thing. We wanted the 80%ers to be able to celebrate fitness. We wanted them to be able to have their sport. We wanted to win the caring game with them. We wanted to break down the barriers. We wanted to crack the code of why do those people not have a gym membership? Why are they not testing their fitness? Why are they overweight and unfit? We wanted to say, wait a second, that's a sport for me. We wanted brand new gym members and current gym members that have been a member for a long time to put their coaching hat on and go out in town and invite friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors in, and authentically and genuinely mean it when they say, listen, this sport, this start line is for you. You may not be super fast at first, Susie or Bill, but you're going to find the finish line and you're going to earn your mark. And then let's go to training 3 to 4 months, and we become a better version of ourselves. And that training has a little more purpose, and your mark's going to improve. So to be able to every now and then lean in on our 3 events, technically 6 now because we have strong, mile, and fit teams, with these few events that will never change. And over time, you fast forward 5 years and you remember, oh shit, it used to take me 36 minutes to do Deca Strong. Now I'm doing it in 18. I'm twice the freaking athlete. So it wasn't rocket science what we did, but we truly wanted to serve the 80% with the power of fitness.
Mate, do you ever look back at it now and pinch yourself and think, whoa, like you just said, team of 7 people. Do you ever look back and pinch yourself and like, whoa? Or are you just like, no, what do you think?
I think it's a testament to anybody out there that's ever had a vision. You have to, let's do a mastermind class right now. To anybody out there with a vision, you have to take it one day at a time. It's like the freaking death race. The only reason I finished the 72-hour death race is because I looked at the one task in front of me. If you let yourself look at, oh my God, how could we possibly get to 250 affiliates and what it would take to do that, that would overwhelm the best of the best. You could probably overwhelm freaking Elon Musk, but I promise you, along his path, 10x what we were able to accomplish. It's like, what do I need to do today to make it to tomorrow? That's all we did. And we just, dude, there was a lot of keeping your fingers crossed and like just navigating insane journeys and tens, oh my gosh, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of phone calls, text messages, Instagram private messages, emails, podcasts, insane amount of Google Hangout, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams calls. I live on those things, communicating with people all over the world. Our team does. It's so amazing to have a handful of people that you trust to speak the language, and knowing you can't be all the places all the time. And they're, you're talking to them. I'm talking to Preston, the sales guy, and then Cynthia and Brian and Nelson and Robin, our director of marketing. Oh my God, I think I forgot to mention her earlier. She is a freaking rock star. Robin Legat is a badass. She's been our marketing director for about a year. Before that, she was our affiliate relations manager. What an amazing addition to our team. But long story short, to have these people that know how to speak the language that wasn't being spoken before, like gym owners, there's a reason 80% of your community are scared to walk into your gym. We have CrossFit box owners OCR and Ninja gyms who they realize they have an optics problem.
Mm.
Listen, when you think CrossFit, OCR Ninja, and all the other stuff, people are scared. A lot of people are scared of what happens in there. They see people. CrossFit is our number one avatar.
Mm.
If we bolt on 20 new gyms in July, 10 of them will be CrossFit boxes because we feel like CrossFit, but we're low barrier of entry. We're not scary. It'll kick the
Mm.
cyborg's ass. But if 1,000 people in any community walking off the street and do a DECA inside the CrossFit box, 999 of them are going to find the finish line.
Mm.
What they're used to seeing is people walking on their hands, doing handstand push-ups, muscle ups, snatches, CrossFit Games, and Murph. That's the
Mm.
optics in the CrossFit Open. It's very scary. I love that stuff. It's one of the largest fitness movements the world's ever seen. When they think Spartan, they're Tough Mudder and that kind of stuff. They see people dangling from shit all the time. That
Mm.
looks really effing scary to most people. They see
Mm.
ninjas flying all over the place. We were like, no. I said, I'm going to think 2 to 3,000 years ago when it wasn't fitness and exercise. It was super basic movement for survival. What were we doing back then? Super basic lift, carry, push, pull, kneel down, stand back up, get all the way down on the ground, stand back up, get over a basic obstacle in life.
Mm.
24-inch box. You can crawl your ass over it, step, or jump over it. And 3 rudimentary forms of transportation that have been around a long time. Row, ski, and bike. That's
Mm.
DECA. What do we have there? If we pull 1,000 people off the street in Dubai or Austin, Texas, where I live, nobody needs to be taught. They don't need to be taught how to do any of that.
Mm.
It's low risk of injury. You don't need to be taught how to do, and you're going to find the finish line. You're just not going to be very fast or efficient at it.
Mm.
But you're not going to injure yourself, and everybody's going to effing finish.
Mm.
That's what we did,
Mm.
and we were very careful to not throw in anything out that's going to push all these large percentages of people out of the picture. So again, it wasn't rocket science. We just wanted to create a good, wholesome, nationally and eventually globally recognized sport for all levels so everybody can test their fitness. When you get somebody to a finish line, it improves exercise adherence, brother. You know that. I'm speaking to the choir.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, mate, I love DECA, and all the people that I know that have done it absolutely love it as well. Um, Mate, talk us through. So obviously, I wanted to record this with you, so people out in the Middle East, who is our main target audience who listen to this podcast, they might not know what a decker is. So just run me through the zones from 1 to 10, and obviously just break down if you can the strong, the mile,
Yeah.
and the fit.
Yeah. So first off, we have 3 events. We have 4 actually. DECA Fire, which is our body weight test. Anybody in the world could take that literally today. When you hear this podcast, you can go to DECA.fit, pull up DECA Fire. You can do it in your living room, your front yard, your backyard, the park, a freaking alley. You need 5 meters of space, your body weight, and a timing device. And you can do a Spartan race with the leaderboard, no cost. That's DECA Fire. We wanted to create a low barrier of entry test. Our 3 main tests for DECA. DECA Strong is our 10 zones of no running. DECA Mile, we take the exact same 10 zones and we precede each zone with a 160-meter walk or run. Most gyms are 250 gym affiliates across the country and the world. What they simply do with the DECA Mile, you open up the bay door or the double door, you got your equipment in the middle of your gym, you meter roll out 80 meters and you plop a cone down. So when the race starts, you run out and around that cone, knock out zone 1. Rinse and repeat 9 more times. That's DECA Mile. DECA Fit is when we normally rent out like an 80,000 square feet convention center type space. And that's our 5K version. We take our 10 zones and we precede them with a 500-meter run. So when you're finished, you've ran a total of 5K, one of the most common running distances on planet Earth. That was the reason for the mile as well. We wanted 2 common running distances that most people have heard of. And then the DECA Fit is just, it's the mile on steroids. You got the 5K version. So those are the 3 events. And of course, for all 3 events, we have the team division. If you and I are doing DECA Mile, or DECA Fit, it means you and I as a male team, you could have a female team or a co-ed team. We're dividing and conquering DECA Strong, all the zones as a team. And for Mile and Fit, we're dividing and conquering the running and the zones as a team. Really cool concept if you haven't ever seen it. But for our gym affiliates, for DECA Strong and DECA Mile events, and for our big DECA Fit event, what that does, let's say that tiny percentage of people out there that might still be a little bit intimidated, it lowers the barrier of entry even more. Okay. Now, Susie or Bill, who's scared of one zone, I can partner with them and say, listen, I'll conquer that one. We'll divide and conquer the other 9 together. So a lot of method to the madness there. Back to the 10 zones. Again, we wanted to base it on super basic movement. Okay. Again, not thinking about fitness, but what's basic movement for survival, just general work to get through life. Of course, back in the olden days, it was a little more required. Now, minus growing up on a farm or a ranch, you don't have to we're a little sedentary. We wanted to flip that upside down. We wanted to show people that maybe have never grown up on a farm or a ranch like myself. I grew up working my ass off my whole life. You work 7 days a week to tend to the farm. Well, a lot of people have never seen that. I wanted to create just rudimentary work that, when combined, each simple zone by itself would create arguably the greatest full body functional fitness test for all levels of fitness the world's ever seen. Chris Henshaw actually said that on the podcast. He said, I think that's what you guys created. I love what you've done. So zone 1 is 30 weighted alternating reverse lunges. In this case, we use a Spartan Ram. It's a great strength training and body maintenance tool. So 30 alternating reverse lunges. So if you've ever knelt down to pick something up off the ground, what most people do is you one leg steps backwards and the knee touches the ground, and you grab what you want to pick up, and then you stand up out of that alternating reverse lunge. All we did is require you to have a little weight on your shoulders to make your body a little heavier, so when you step back up, it's a little more meaningful. 30 alternating reverse lunges. Zone 2 is a 500-meter row. Rowing is probably the oldest form of transportation. Rowing a boat. If you've ever seen one of my favorite movies, Ben-Hur, we're talking thousands of years ago, man. We've been rowing ourselves in rudimentary boats. So rowing, I love that zone. Zone 3 is getting your ass over a basic obstacle in life, a 24-inch box. Some people crawl over it using, incidental hand and knee contact. Some people will step up and over it. Some people will jump up and over it. Both feet must touch the top on the way over. Both feet touch the opposite side. It's not rocket science. You see hundreds of different methods. As long as the body travels over the box, you're good to go. Zone 4. I love zone 4. This was kind of a little throwback fist bump to fitness in general. The oldest exercise out there, probably the sit-up, and the oldest known piece of fitness equipment, the medicine ball. It's known in history as being the very first official piece of fitness equipment. So we took the medicine ball and the sit-up, we combined them for the med ball sit-up. Zone 5 is our 500-meter ski. Again, an old form of transportation. The ski erg was created to assist with cross-country skiers, that movement. So we love that one. Zone 6 might be the greatest full-body exercise on planet Earth, the farmer's carry. We are simply picking up weight and taking it from point A to point B, in this case, 100 meters. Zone 7 is 25 cows on the air bike. We've been cycling for hundreds of years. Why not, which is a great lower body exercise. You do have to use your core and upper body for support, but let's add the air bike into it. So we're going to get now a phenomenal full body functional fitness zone. When we push pull, we get chest, tris, back, and bis. I love that. Upper body, a little bit of deltoids as well. The trunk twist, and of course, we're working the legs. So again, if you notice, the method of the madness from 1 through 5 is a nice warm up. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are now all head to toe full body work. Zone 7 is our dead ball shoulder over. We are picking weight up off the ground and we are getting it over our shoulder. Rudimentary, simple work. Zone 9, again, arguably, if you've ever listened to the knees over toes guy, if you haven't, I recommend you go listen to the Joe Rogan podcast when he had that guy on there. I love that episode. But long story short, sled pushing and pulling has been phenomenal, a great fitness for a long time. But just think about it. It's good old school work. We've been pushing and pulling for thousands of years. We went with the magnetic resistance sleds. We have 3 approved, I should say, because you can't gamify pushing and pulling with traditional sleds. You've got rubber floors behind you. The gym down the street may have turf floors. The other gym may have concrete floors, or the other gym may be using the pavement out back. Long story short, 15 different sleds, different surfaces. We average 10 to 25 Spartan DECA events inside our gym affiliates every single weekend across the country. You could not gamify Zone 9. I said, well, if we do magnetic resistance sleds, it doesn't matter what type of surface you have. You have basically the same resistance look and feel on the rubber floor, the turf floor, the concrete floor, whatever surface you have. So that's why we went with the magnetic resistance sleds. We love push-pull, again, another great full-body functional fitness movement. And we could not have a Spartan race without having burpees. a great full body functional fitness movement for zone 10. And I said, wait, Joe and I have always had this fun little, I had this debate with him way back in the day. I said, listen, Joe, I know you've said the burpee is arguably the greatest exercise of all time, but as an old strength coach and fitness trainer, there's some muscle groups that are getting left out. We're not getting the pull. We're not getting the pull, and we're not getting the weighted press. So the deltoids and the pull, the back and the bis. When you're just using body weight, some of that stuff gets left out. And I said, now if we're going to pull weight off the ground, clean or snatch it up and, press above the head, now we're getting back, bis, and shoulders. Now we have possibly, arguably, the greatest full body exercise of all time. And of course, we finished that with zone 10. So those are our 10 zones. Nothing complex. Nothing has to be taught. It's very low risk of injury. What happens is people just get a little stronger. They get better at strength endurance, and they get a little, their mobility, balance, and coordination improves. The fluidity of how they learn how to move, and they get more efficient with the movement standards. So several things improve with their overall fitness, and their DECA mark improves.
Nice, mate. I love that. Mate, you mentioned earlier about the DECA World Championships. So you've had one so far. You're having another one this year. And are you looking, was that always going to be in the US? Talk to me about that, mate. When's the next one? Where's it going to be? And do you have aspirations for that to grow outside of the US now that DECA has become this global brand? Do you believe that the World Championships will also go global?
Yeah, this will be year 2. Last year was in New Jersey. We had about 1,500 people compete, and we've got a fun, simple concept. Throughout all the gym events for DECA Strong, DECA Mile, and the big events for DECA Fit, and then all the teams, DECA Strong, DECA Mile teams, at the end of the qualifying season, we'll take this year as an example, which is going to be mid-September for Fit, Mile, and Strong. If at the end of the qualifying season, if you're top 20 in your age group, you qualify for DECA Strong, Mile, or Fit in your age group for 1, 2, or all 3 of the events. If you're top 20, last year it was top 12. We had a lot of age groups sell out, so we wanted to grow it a little bit. And then for the elites, if you're top 20 overall, meaning the overall times for the whole year around the world, you punch your ticket for world championships. On the teams, we're not quite there to where we can have age group or teams and whatnot. You just have to be top 20 overall total teams to compete. So it's a real fun concept. The first year was amazing. To have your very first world championship be a huge success is hard to pull off, and we did it. So props to all the athletes in the gyms. The cool part about world championships, 2/3 of our events, the only way to qualify is you got to go to one of our 250 affiliates. If you're in the UAE, you got to go to Desert Shield and compete in one of their events. And if you finish top 20 in age group or overall, you punch your ticket to world championships. Of course, we're all over the US, all over Canada and the UK and a few other countries. But so that's kind of how you get there. But as far as going to other countries, so in the United States, we have 2 tractor trailers that carry our stuff all over the country. We've had about 20 plus DECA Fits, DECA Fit team competition. We now have DECA, our Go Ruck. We partnered with Go Ruck, our Go Ruck DECA Fit division. I would love nothing more to have world championships be somewhere else. I would probably say we're at least one more year out. If that's going to happen, it's probably going to be 2025 or beyond. We just, logistically, it's a big challenge. Spain is probably the one country that's the closest because they've held a couple official DECA Fits. I would want them to have a large enough facility where, like, we have a method in the United States where every single large scale DECA Fit is identical to each other. There's no deviation. For every single DECA Fit that you do in the United States in the large scale version, you are running just shy of 2 laps. I have a very precise method of laying it out where you run exactly 5K. Your transitions are down to probably a foot or 2, the exact same in and out of the zones. It's extremely standardized. And that was by design. I would want Spain to have a large enough facility where they would have a 2-lap course like we do versus the 3-lap that they've been doing, because that you're going to be a little slower in a 3-lap course. But yeah, I think at one point in time that will obviously be the natural progression. The UK, we do have we created a gym affiliate version of DECA Fit. Ontario, Canada, and cross training Clitheroe in Clitheroe, UK, will be putting on the very first gym hosted DECA Fits. I've got some other insane news, but I just can't talk about it right now. Let's just say that a very, very, very big name in the world of dietary supplement world and fitness will be holding a DECA Fit at his location. But long story short, the Ontario event is coming up this month, and then the UK next month, and that's a 125-meter out and back course. So you're going to go out and back twice, and then knock out your zone. So you run exactly 500 meters prior to each zone, and that allows the gym events. For countries like for Canada and UK, and maybe next year the UAE. These are countries that have trusted us and have bolted us on. They're putting on the events in their countries. So we said, wait a second. Those people traveling to the United States to do a DECA Fit, that's a huge pain in the ass, and that's costly. Let's create a gym hosted DECA Fit that's an official race, could be an official qualifier for DECA Fit, and let them host these. So, I see the UAE putting one of these on next year, one or two, and any other country that says, you know what, I want to get involved in this, like Canada and the UK, and it's our way of rewarding them to allow them to have all three, so their people can earn their trifecta about getting all three events, and again for the cyborgs, possibly punch their ticket to World Championships.
Nice. So yeah, hopefully we're going to see that then out in the UAE. But when you went through the zones, you touched on the RAM, and to most people, they see the RAM and they don't know what it is. You said it was called a Spartan RAM, and I think to most people, including myself, before I did a DECA, it looks like a giant foam roller until you pick it up and you realize, these things have got some weight behind them. Is that something that you came up with, or was that already out there on the market, or is that like something you created?
So my good friends, JP and Dermot from Ireland, they are the co-creators, the founders, the owners. I met JP at URSA back in 2018, and I said, I've been in fitness for 25 years, man. I've worked with every type of fitness equipment. I said, this is going to be 5 minutes after using it, I said, this is going to be a legacy item, just like the dumbbell, the med ball, the dead ball, the TRX, things like that every freaking gym has. I was like, this is going to be that one day. I'm telling you right now, 90% of this stuff is hokey bullshit. This is a legit product. It's made out of recycled car tires. It takes 2 recycled car tires to make a RAM. It's a rubber cylindrical tube like device with handles on the ends. So it provides a phenomenal strength training tool, extremely durable, virtually indestructible strength training tool. But you can foam roll with it. You can temper with it. It's a great body maintenance tool when your workout is done. So it serves 2 great purposes. For the heavier ones, the 33 and up, there is a piece of steel embedded in the center that you will never really see. It's inside there. They weld little nipples on it, so the rubber meshes around it. So it's encapsulated in there forever. Insanely durable. So in 2019, we implemented them. I kind of brokered a deal, for lack of better terms, for them to partner together with Spartan. We got them into the Spartan stadium races. In 2019, every stadium race, they've been in the stadium races, 15 Spartan Ram burpees, guys 55, ladies 33 for numerous years now. Thousands and thousands of Spartan athletes and people around the world in general. Gyms, clubs, studios, and boxes have purchased the Rams. They're great for group exercise. You got a durable strength training tool that's very, very functional. I mean, you can do bar work with it. Like you can do snatches, cleans, presses. You can do curls and overhead presses and halos and seated work and rows with it. I mean, I could literally, we have a DECA, and we have a RAM certification where we teach, we've taught thousands of people how to build group exercises and personal training classes with them. And it's a very, very functional tool. And I firmly believe that it will be a fitness legacy item one day.
I think it also.
I call it the Spartan Ram. So they are partnered, and you'll see a lot of the Spartan Rams with the Spartan logo on it.
We had a bunch in the gym before, and yeah, I've actually used it a lot myself. And like you said, in stadium races, I did the Paris race a couple of years ago. I think it was last year or the year before, and 15 Rams with a 55. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's it added a little. The stadium race was the best Spartan race to introduce them into first, because it's a little more of a functional fitness race compared to the mud and the barbed wire on the side of a mountain. they would make a great heavy carry
Mm.
implement for a Spartan race. You just got to be careful. You can't put them on like a big slope, because if you drop it, that thing could roll all the way
Oh yeah.
down. But they definitely do have some functionality, I think, long term at the outdoor Spartan races.
Mate, where do people buy them from? How do they get them? Do they have to go to Deca or they get them from, is there a website?
There's a couple of ways. You can go to Spartan.com. You can go to ramfit.com. And we have several equipment distributors and manufacturers here in the U.S. and there's one in the U.K. as well that where you can get them. But the two basic ways, we go to Spartan.com or ramfit.com.
Nice.
And if you're over in Europe, it's probably better to go to Ramfit, because they'd be coming from Ireland. Here in the States, you can go to Spartan.com, or I mean, you can go to Spartan.com as well if you're over in Europe.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Quick question about Deca, and then I want to talk a little bit more about just the sport of hybrid in general. So Deca is happening, you talked about affiliates. Deca is happening at Desert Shield this coming weekend on Saturday. They're having the mile for the first time. I'm going to be there. We're taking a big group, which is going to be really, really cool. Got a bunch
Love
of
it.
the solo and the teams. So they're an affiliate. Talk to me about that. How do people become an affiliate? You said you got 250 across the globe. How do gyms become affiliates?
Yeah, so we have 250 across the globe, most of them in the United States, but we've got 7 or 8 up in Canada, 6 or 7 in the UK, 1 in the UAE, and a couple others sprinkled around. We also have Alaska and Hawaii, which is US, of course. So as an affiliate, I'll walk you through the process real quick. Let's say you've got, I see the gym behind you. Let's say you want to affiliate. Okay, you bolt us on. All right. Every 3 to 4 months, these 250 gyms that we have, they're standing up and holding Deca Strong and or Deca Mile events. Some of our gyms that are really good at what they do, they'll put a strong and a mile on the same weekend. And then they can also bolt on Deca Strong teams, Deca Mile teams. So anywhere from 50 to 300 plus people come to these events. We have gyms that'll put them on in outdoor stadiums, parks. They'll put them on at the big business down the street. Most of them do take place inside their brick and mortar facilities, though. So we stand up the registration for you. We allow you to be we don't give you any headaches. We do most of the work for you. The online registration, once you tell us this is the day I want, this is how many lines of equipment I have, this is when I want to start, and this is what the type of event I want to put on. I want to put on Deca Strong and Deca Strong teams. The next day it's live for registration. So now all your members and the people in your community can start signing up for the race. Let's just do some simple math just for the listener's perspective. Let's say we just did Deca Strong. We do recommended pricing. Most gyms charge $39. 100 people, let's say 100 people sign up. Well, as a team, Spartan Deca in your gym, we're going to gross revenue $3,900. Well, we're going to cut you a check, or actually direct deposit into your bank account, 60% of that. So about almost $2,500 you make. To affiliate with us, your total out of pocket for the year is $1,900, $159 a month. So in one day of celebrating fitness, you are $500-$600 to the good. You've covered your total out of pocket in one freaking day. Keep in mind, most of these events are putting on 3 to 4 a year. So you're making some really nice mailbox money. You're generating some nice revenue. So we wanted to check 4 boxes for the gyms. We wanted to provide you with a revenue generator to make it where you're in a situation where it's like, why would I ever leave here? I only paid $1,900. In one event, I covered that. Everything else is mailbox money. So a revenue generator, a lead generation tool. On average, the 100 people that come to that event, 35 of them have never walked into your gym before. And half of that 35 do not have a gym home. So they drove from short distance from you, 17, 18 people, and they don't have a freaking gym. Decent chance with any marketing savvy, you can get some of those people to become a member of your gym. So lead generation tool, member retention tool. Once they cross, you're putting on an official Spartan race inside your brick and mortar facility, Spartan Deca event. I mean, and they cross the finish line and you hung a medal around their neck. Trust me, member retention improves, and exercise adherence. When you can get your members or people in the community across the finish line, and they feel empowered by that awesome, having the heart rate, get the heart rate up, get some lactic acid in the muscles, feel the power of those endorphins that release the endocannabinoids in the brain, all the crazy cool stuff that happens when we test our fitness. that happened in your freaking gym. And the chances of them walking away from fitness drop. So we check those 4 boxes for you, make it ridiculously easy. We also have the DECA quarterly challenges. We have the monthly mastermind call, the monthly affiliate call. We have our DECA training system. Long story short, I don't want to go into great detail, but we provide you a whole lot for a little. We allow you to bolt on the Spartan DECA brand, put that umbrella over your gym as heavily as you want to, and you are the only. If somebody wants to compete in Spartan DECA Strong or DECA Mile or DECA Strong DECA Mile teams, they got to go to your gym. And so we gave the goal was to create a nationally and eventually globally recognized sport for all levels, and it takes place inside our affiliate gym. So 99% of our focus is what happens at our affiliates, always, and that will never change. We love the big events, the big convention center events, but that's 1%. That's a tiny focus on why we exist. We built DECA to support the gym community. All you guys and gals out there that are coaches, trainers, fitness directors, general managers, or owners of gyms, every one of you, I'll say it again, you are all in the business of dealing the world's most powerful drug, fitness, movement, and exercise. In your communities, you are changing and saving lives. And everything we do, every step we take is to support you and help you be an even better version of yourself, just to allow all your people in your community to periodically step up to a start line and feel the power of crossing the freaking finish line, man.
Nice. Mate, I like that a lot. Mate, next question. So I think you've covered it, and you're probably going to repeat yourself here, but I wrote down. So obviously DECA, you would class it as a hybrid race, right? It's under the hybrid umbrella.
I think that's kind of what people are calling it. Yeah.
Yeah. Fitness racing, isn't it? It's fitness racing. Why do you think it's growing so fast?
Is a term.
If you look at the curve on, say, Spartan, and you look at the curve on, we'll call it hybrid or fitness racing, the curve is insane for fitness racing if you compare it to Spartan, for example, or OCR. Why do you think that is?
Well, for us, I mean, Jared and I early on, and our team now, we never stepped away from maniacal. I mean, look up the definition, maniacal focus. Is this going to serve the 80% that right now would get their ass handed to them if they tried to step up to any of the common participatory sports that are out there? And I listed those earlier, where physically they really don't have the ability to finish that. And it's just because they've let themselves go. They're not on a good fitness journey. Our maniacal focus was to say, we're going to make it perfect for them. So we were going to try to completely blow the game out of the water, flip the fitness world upside down, and change it with this sport, with this start line. So we had that focus from day one, and we never lose that. So, and again, we knew if we designed it right, the 20%ers would love it as well. So when you ask that question, of course, that's kind of putting big focus on the 20%ers, the ones that are doing all the stuff. They're doing High Rocks and DECA and any of the battle bunkers, any of the stuff out there that's fitness racing. But that's for the 20%ers. We feel the movement you're talking about with us is largely being driven by all these people that are being talked into coming in and testing, that are nail-biting nervous to do this thing, and they all finish. Yeah. They all freaking finish. With a Spartan race, I love Spartan. But you're going to go home as that unfit, 100-pound overweight person that's never been on a fitness journey, doesn't have a gym membership right now, not testing your fitness. You're going to fail 10 obstacles. You're going to navigate the course, but you're going to go home failing almost everything that was in front of you. That's just the way it is. Where the elite's going to pass everything. So we wanted to change that game. We now we widened the bookend for Spartan dramatically. You don't feel shit over here at DECA. You conquer it exactly how Ryan Kent and Lauren Weeks just conquered it. Okay? That's a different ball game. It just took you longer. You lifted the exact weights they lifted. You did exactly what they did with no deviation. And 99+% of everybody that walked up to the start line finished. So that we look at that as changing the game. And we will never, ever lose focus on that. So yeah, the fitness racing thing is amazing. What I love about it is it is for most cases, it's no matter who's doing it. I think you got to give a lot of credit to CrossFit. They did kind of pave a path. I just think where it's not debatable. Most of what you see at the CrossFit Open, the CrossFit Games, and a lot of the lifts are just, they are very, very risky for that group we talk about. Now,
Mm.
if you get yourself into, so what a gym owner will tell us at a CrossFit box is like, we do improve their optics, because we love the fact that when a newcomer walks into the CrossFit box at the same time, CrossFit is a big brand to them, and they leave there feeling, you hung a medal around their neck, and they're around town saying, I did CrossFit today. I
Yeah.
did CrossFit. We love that. We didn't build DECA for one specific genre of fitness gyms. We built it for all of them. We have every type of gym on planet Earth, man.
Mm.
CrossFit boxes, F45s, Anytime Fitness, which is the largest gym franchise in the world, 24-hour fitness, Gold's Gyms, every type of mom and pop studio, boutique, or gym, micro gym you've ever seen. They're bolting us on. Other than a freaking yoga studio, we've got it.
Mm. Mm.
OCR gyms, ninja gyms, freaking everything. We made it for everybody. We love the fact that CrossFit gym owners are like, this meshes in well with us. So you're building specific DECA inspired training. The real magic happens the 3 to 4 months in between each event, where it's not about, as a coach, I'm not talking about losing a few pounds or inches or looking better in a damn bathing suit and getting ready for summer. Screw that stupid talk. We're getting ready for our sport. We're going to improve your mark. Next time you step up to the start line, you're going to be faster because you're an athlete. That's the language, dude. And that's empowering to somebody that's never been in it, never considered themselves an athlete. Well, now you are. You talk about exercise adherence. That shit works.
It's the same. It's almost the same slogan as Spartan, right? You'll know at the finish line. It's the same. You get, like you said, they get that medal around the neck, and you just know.
Well, shit, I've done 100 I've run 200 plus races in my life, probably, or 300 probably. I've been racing every weekend or 1 weekend a month my whole freaking life, and I still love getting a medal around my neck. Think of that person that's never crossed the finish line, dude. That's an insane moment. Every DECA event, there are tears streaming. And you know why? Because the 80 percenters are crossing the finish line.
Yeah, yeah. Mate, how many people in your DECA Fit events in the US or anywhere else, like the ones that you talk about that are in the big like warehouses, what sort of numbers do you get into those events? Like how many people can you get in there? Are they selling out? And what's the sellout? Like how many people are in the sellout event?
We've got it set up to where like 800 to 1,000 is our standard day.
Nice.
Yeah, 800 to 1,000, and that's where we want to be. We're not trying to turn that into, hey, can we pack in 3 to 4,000? That event is designed to serve. Like, let's take SoCal for example. We had 38 of our affiliates there. That event, the vast majority of the people signing up for that are affiliate owners, gym owners that have been putting on events all year, and now we come. And under the same roof, 38 affiliates celebrated fitness together. We were bringing the fitness community together, not gyms butting heads as competition. Let's all come together. We encourage them to sport their gym shirts, their hats, all the stuff, and let's love on your gym owner. It's a big high five to gym owners out there and celebrating fitness for them, what they've done. So I think next year you might see a day or two where we go to a Saturday and a Sunday. So we're able to accommodate more. But it's kind of a small, quaint little, wholesome event. I love what High Rocks has done, man. Fist bumps to them. But we're just a much different brand. Both work. I think both can work very, very well. And there's going to be some a percentage of people that they're going to love both of it. It's almost like, hey, I do Savage Race and I do Spartan. Of course. Or I do this. I remember the old Battle Frog. The obstacles were insanely hard. Where Spartan obstacles are not insanely hard, but there's going to be some bleed over. Same thing with Spartan, with the DECA and High Rocks. We're just different. We're just a different brand with a little different focuses. But dude, fist bump to them, man. They're helping pave the way as well. I love what they're doing. And we can 100% coexist, and we try really hard to show them as much love as possible and support what they're doing. It's no different than anybody else. We do not have a competitor. That's what We're not a competitor at any gym, any fitness movement. I'll say it one more time. Everybody out there getting anybody to a start line or to a training class to get prepared for that start line, you're all in the business of dealing with the world's most powerful drug, fitness, movement, and exercise. It changes and saves lives. That's our freaking mantra. We want more people doing that.
I love that. Mate, you know I'm going to be calling this podcast the world's most powerful drug. That's going to
I
be the
love
name
that,
for it.
dude. That would be an honor. I'm about out of time. I'm in an hour. I'm going to be coaching 200 athletes, 200 football players, high school and middle school kids. So I got to do a little prep, dude. But man, I appreciate your time.
It's all
Thank
good.
you for having the show, man. Thank you for helping support. Thank you for your support.
I really appreciate that you coming on. And yeah, I'll get the guys to give you a shout out at the weekend when they go to Abu Dhabi and take on the mile, the solo mile, and the team race. Mate, I really appreciate your time coming on.
Much love to everybody in Dubai, the UAE. Thank you all so much for supporting us. Thank you for supporting Desert Shield Fitness, our only affiliate there.
Hopefully we're going to have some more after this
anybody
podcast.
listening, I encourage you to put your coaching hat on. Get in and test yourself, and then I encourage you. You do not have to have a fitness certification to be a coach. If you've ever inspired somebody to come to a group exercise class with you, or get out on the trail and go for a run, or just drop down and do some push-ups, or get to a start line. If you've ever done that or you're trying to do that, you are a coach. Okay, you are in the same business I'm in. You're trying to help somebody out. It's all about the ultimate goal of every coach is when anybody we try to serve, when they wake up in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and beyond, are they still able to say yes to everything this beautiful planet we call Earth provides to us? Then you did a good job taking care of your beautiful machine in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Because now you're able to enjoy serving you're doing the type of work you want to do, serving your kids, your grandkids, going on active vacation with your kids and grandkids in your second half of your life. You got to respect the machine. You have to respect the machine. That's our number one goal as coaches. And it was our number one goal at DECA was to help teach people the power of I call it being a little selfish with your time. It's Yancy time, the next 30 minutes. I got to take care of myself because my wife will benefit, my kids, my community, my state, my country, my planet will benefit if this body can perform. Period. It's as simple as that. We need more people that can do that. That's the mission we're on. So, dude, thanks again, man. I appreciate you, brother.
I love it. I really appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, dude. Thanks, man.